Hiya, good evening, and a warm fuzzy welcome from us at the Lupus Hub. My name is Selena, and I'm one of the co-founders of this organization. Today is World Lupus Day, so just remember for future reference, 10th of May is Lupus Day. So we just took this as a great opportunity to raise awareness about this wonderful disorder called lupus, and also to let you know what we do at the Lupus Hub and what we aim to do with the Lupus Hub in the future. So I'm going to play a short video which briefly explains what lupus is, and after that we have about maybe a 10-15 minute Q&A session, maybe shorter unless more people jump on, where you can ask any questions concerning lupus or what you've actually seen. Please raise your hand using the emoji button somewhere along the bottom there. And if it's one of questions of maybe a sensitive nature, feel free to message me. I'll be posting my contact details up in the post.
Lupus affects over 5 million people worldwide. You may have heard of it. You may know someone with lupus. But what is lupus? Let's take a look. This person is healthy. Hello. Everybody has white blood cells. They protect people from infections. This is what stops you from getting ill. In people with lupus, however, the white blood cells aren't so helpful. The white blood cells are out of control. They won't just attack infections, they'll attack anything. This is what causes all their symptoms. Symptoms of lupus can include extreme fatigue, joint pain, muscle weakness, rashes, hair loss, and it can also damage organs such as the kidneys, heart, or brain. There are a few things that can trigger symptoms in lupus patients. One of them is the sunshine. About 60% of lupus patients are sun sensitive. Another trigger is stress. It is very important that lupus patients take good care of themselves physically and emotionally. At present, there is no cure for lupus, though it can often be managed through treatment. A big problem is that it takes an average of 7 years for somebody with lupus to get a diagnosis and receive this treatment. You can help to reduce this time by sharing this video and raising awareness of this condition. Lupus mainly affects women, but it can affect anybody. To learn more, visit us at www.lupusuk.org.uk.
So we have one more video.
As many as 1 in 250 Black women will develop the chronic autoimmune disease known as lupus in their lifetime. The disease causes the immune system to attack healthy cells as if it is warding off diseases, but ends up killing off the cells that defends the body. For Black women, who the disease seems to target more, it also tends to be diagnosed in women in their 30s, whereas the average age for white women is in their 50s. Lupus is a disease that doesn't have just one causing factor, but seems to be a combination of factors in people's lives. These factors include hormones, genetics, environment, exposure to dangerous chemicals that are prevalent in farms and industrial sites, infections, UVA, UVB, or fluorescent lights, exhaustion and stress to the mind and of the body. The longer that a person has to endure lupus, the more damaging the effects are. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention published a study done by Emory University in 2013 that examined the relationship of Black women and found a higher likelihood of facing harsher complications like kidney failure, skin rashes, heart attacks, and possible kidney transplant. Some of the symptoms of lupus is extreme fatigue, headaches, swelling in the feet, hands, eyes, butterfly-shaped rashes across cheeks and nose, ulcer in the mouth and nose, hair loss, fever, pain in the chest while breathing heavily, blood clots, and anemia, which Black women tend to suffer for in a more disproportionate rate than other races and genders. Though there is still a mystery on what causes lupus and concrete ways of treating it, the National Lupus Patient Registry was created to help monitor those with the disease in hopes of finding a way to diagnose lupus earlier and gain data that might help to fight the disease. Regardless of if a person is diagnosed with the disease, 80 to 90% of patients who seek medical attention after experiencing signs, take the prescribed medicine from their doctors, and seek counseling can live with a normal life expectancy.
Okay, since everybody's kind of up on lupus, I'll get into the main part of the evening. So, as some of you may know, the Lupus Hub was supposed to do an International Women's Day event in March. That was cancelled at the last minute. Long story short, I burnt out. Last year was a year of massive personal growth for me, and it felt like I literally fit 3 years of experience into one. The funny thing is, my body would have usually warned me that I was doing too much. And if I didn't listen, then my body would body slam me. And I'd be in bed for a while until it decided to let me out. That didn't happen. It looks like the changes that I've made to my diet and to my lifestyle has stopped it from happening. The fatigue or the physical fatigue symptoms don't happen anymore, or didn't at that particular time. So it seemed like my brain started to fry a little bit. And as a result, a few people got the sharp end of my tongue. And I realized that it's either I took a break or I was going to break. So I made the decision to cancel. Honestly, I just wanted to apologize for those who were looking forward to it, including myself. You know, it was not something that we wanted to do. Definitely wasn't the outcome that we wanted, you know. So I thought I'd just explain it that way. Funny enough, while I was away on holiday, recovering in Cyprus, I came upon a video that explained the symptom of burnout. And that's when it kind of twigged. That's actually what I was experiencing or had experienced. And it also shows you how to prevent burnout. And the simple solution was avoid doing everything yourself and share some of the responsibilities. So we had already planned some changes to the way the hub, beg your pardon, interacted with the service users, as the previous way of doing it was way too labor intensive. From day one, I have always had many people asking how they could help, you know, and I'll be sharing some of the ways for those that wish to help can get involved. As I said on the flyer, we have made some additions to the ethos of the Lupus Hub. So as well as providing practical help, assistance and education for our lupus warriors, we also realized the importance of leaving or living a legacy and serving a purpose. I have always volunteered with many charities. In fact, that's how I met Angie. And I did it because at the time my health wasn't really stable enough to take on a paid role. Having something that takes you out of your head, or that small space that chronic illness can wedge you in, you know, for me was actual saving grace. We Lupis know, or us with chronic illnesses know, how much services that we have received as a result of becoming unwell. And it's a great way of knowing we can redress that balance somehow. Giving back builds confidence, you know, it builds self-esteem and personal drive. And for me, little else really did that. So in that spirit, we at the Lupus Hub have chosen to incorporate the elements of collaboration, volunteering, and fundraising into our structure. So with regards to collaboration, as a vendor, if some people don't know, I actually created the Chillaxation skincare company. So through doing that, we were vendoring at various cultural events, various markets. And through that, I've had the good fortune to meet some really wonderful and amazing individuals. They're not here today, but I will be having another one where they can actually come on and introduce themselves. So one of the ways that we intend to collaborate is working with other organizations within the community. I think it's one of the ways to secure the longevity of the Lupus Hub and of the other organizations as well. It keeps us fresh in our approach and accountable in our practices. I think we tend to behave better when we know that others are counting on us. So turning now to fundraising. As some of you may know, My darling sister Tanisha developed lupus in 1987 at the age of 7, and she lived with it until 1997. Anyone who had the pleasure of knowing her knows that she was the ultimate fun-loving, fearless, wise woman, all 4'5" of her. And somehow I think I overestimated her height somewhere, because I don't think she reached that far. She played football harder than any of the guys that knew her. She was a daredevil who rode on a motorcycle about the age of 6 and drove cars when she could barely see over the steering wheel. She totally emptied the soft toy grab machine at Chessington World of Adventures. And yes, the staff stood there in the empty theme park, just waiting for her to empty the machine, and applauded her on her way out. She held counseling sessions for young people, geriatric and old alike. And she was actually my midwife and saw both of my children before I did. Her doctors used to ask her for her advice on how to treat her, while she told them which part of her arm was the best place to take her blood tests from. Amazing considering she missed out on seeing her 16th birthday by 6 months. So to honor my ultimate shearer, I've created the Tantan Loopy Fund, or the Tantan Little Loopy Fund, where all the monies raised will go towards children, charities and organizations concerned with illness and education, both here and abroad. So I'm going to attempt to share the screen again. Please bear with me. Yeah, so this was her after she developed lupus. And let me see if I can get to the other one. And this was her before lupus. So you can see there was quite a bit of a change. But to be fair, none of her personality changed, as anybody who knows her knows. So this is where the volunteering element comes in. I'm going to need people who would want to join a committee and bring this dream to fruition. My aim is to give funds to 2 organizations by the end of 2023. It is a totally new stage. It's at the totally new stage, beg your pardon. Over the next few weeks, I plan to pad some ideas out and would certainly love any input from anybody who has done this before me, because I've got no idea how to go about this. I know me and the Google and how to do is going to be real great friends for the next couple of weeks, you know, but if there is anybody that knows of any information that could help us kind of get this pushed along, please let me know. Now, for the second part of the volunteering, it directly affects our lupus warriors. I anticipate that the Lupus Hub is going to grow. And I know that we need to support, well, we're going to need support in supporting the Lupus Hub service users. So at the moment, I'm thinking of, we need volunteer lupus warrior befrienders. These caring and empathetic volunteers, they will spend a few hours a week contacting and checking in on the Lupus Hub service users. I've had the pleasure of doing this over the last couple of months. And, you know, it gives me a real joy to be able to listen to a query or just lend a sympathetic ear and leave our service users with practical solutions, a smile, and maybe even a plan for their future, you know. Again, this idea is at the very initial stages, and I would love for any persons with knowledge of how to go about this to come forward or come on board and help us get this part of the organization going. Another area of volunteering would involve event planning, execution. That would include maybe sourcing venues, suggesting themes, helping setting up, clearing up, decorating venues, sourcing entertainment, etc. And the final one is we need somebody, anybody, who would like to update and monitor our social media and website pages. I mean, I can do it, I just really don't want to because I don't like doing it, but if I really have to, then I will. But if there's anybody out there that would like to help out with that part, we would definitely appreciate it, you know? So, to concentrate on the legacy or living the legacy and serving the purpose part of the presentation, I did a one of our sessions included us doing a living legacy and serving a purpose, and it was really, really well received. So I would like to share a couple of videos at the moment, just to let you know where it is we are coming from and how we plan to incorporate, well, how we plan to incorporate the ethos into the Lupus Hub. So 1 second, please.
Each of us has a calling on our lives. That calling is to live, to love, to matter, and to leave a legacy. Once you get clear about who you are and what you have been called to do, decide that you will not let anything stop you from following through on that. At the moment you make that decision and you step into your power, you will stand straight up in your power and majesty that is your life and the calling on your life. At that moment, you are propelled into a higher level of responsibility for yourself and a deeper appreciation for all of the pieces of your life. You will know that you now have a deeper level of accountability to yourself, to your Creator, and to the world. You know, my life, my purpose is to be a teacher. That's what I am. I am a teacher. And for me, teaching doesn't mean giving anything out. It means giving anything to you. It means pulling out what's already there. And so one of the things that I like to do is I like to live where people live. I like to be where people are. I like to go through and be with people as we move through life, because life is changing very, very rapidly. You know, things that once were so absolutely critical and essential to us are just not there. And things that we thought we once had to have, we realize that we really can do without. And things are changing, and some of us are faring very well and others of us aren't. And I just went through a 7-year period in my experience called life where I really had to get clear about what was meaningful and what wasn't, and who I was and who I wasn't, and who I wasn't going to be anymore. And so out of that experience grew this sharing that I'm offering to the world at this time called Peace from Broken Pieces, how to get through what you're going through.
So those two videos came from a very favorite person of mine, Iana Van Sant. For me, she kind of puts things in a very clear and practical perspective. I chose those videos simply because I know as a lupus, as a person living with lupus, it can be difficult to see where your future lies. You know, sometimes having a chronic illness can really put like a semi-full stop to your life. And I found that, going back to what I said before, the volunteering was a really good way to get out of my head in a lot of ways, you know. And don't get me wrong, I fully understand that, especially when it comes to lupus, that's gonna probably not be somebody's first ideology, simply because 1, you haven't got the energy for it, and 2, your body hurts, you know. But at the end of the day, it's something that I do want everybody to kind of have an ideology about, or to even look for, simply because if you don't have a purpose, you're going to kind of be stuck in the same place for a very long time. You've got nothing to move for, you know. And I think for me, having a purpose is what drove me to help myself get better. You know, if you haven't got something to live for, as they would say, and that thing that you have to live for, yeah, you can say you've got your children, you can say you know, you have your parents or your family, but if what you have to live for is outside of yourself, then it probably will not stick, or it will not do what it's supposed to do, which is help empower you to become the better person or the best version of yourself. You know, so I think that's why we've decided to incorporate it into the Lupus Hub. Has anybody got any questions for me?
I would definitely like to network with you. I'm not sure. I know the things that you really, really need help with, I'm struggling with myself. So what I will say is if I do find somebody, I will share that with you as well. But definitely would like to network with you. And I have an event coming up myself, so I would love to be involved. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Now, lovely Hilary Sinclair is actually my rheumatologist from back in the day. Hi, Dr. Sinclair. Lifestyle changes. Oh, goodness me. I think the most important one I did was learning how to say no. And that really eliminated a lot of stress. The second change that I definitely made was to my eating habits in particularly. I just understood for me, meat, dairy, and gluten had to go. I'm a person, I'm very in touch with how my body works, and I could eat it and immediately know. Thank you, Uncle Steve. I could eat something and immediately know if it was going to work out for me or if it wasn't going to work out for me. I would definitely feel the differences in my body. So, especially over the last couple of, I would say last 2 years, we've really changed the way we eat at home. Thanks to this darling son of mine as well. You know, we've worked out how to replace meat using mushrooms, using walnuts, and that has made such a great difference in, you know, how my body has been responding. And as I said, eliminating stress. I'm really sorry. There's going to be some people on here that will say, oh, you know, family comes first. No, it don't. You come first. And at the end of the day, if you're going to give away yourself to your family, understand that whether you live or you die, they're still going to carry on with the same behavior they carried on with while you was here. And it sounds harsh, but life is harsh. And anybody with a chronic illness knows how harsh life can be. You know, I could have been on my deathbed. They were still coming to me with their issues to solve. And I would do it because that's just me. But I think in the last couple of years, I've truly understood that I have to live for me. And at the end of the day, if I don't, then the people that really do care about me will lose me. So at the end of the day, it wasn't a hard decision, but what I do understand is that behaviors are grounding. And I've been like this from the time I was born. I've always been a helpful person. You could phone me if the phone's on at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, oh, Sils, I need a flight to XYZ. You know, what's the best place to go and find it? And knowing me, I'll probably wake up and find it for you, ping it over and go back to sleep. But I've disturbed my sleep in doing that, you know, and it's not definite that I'll go back to sleep. So I would say lifestyle changes, eliminating stress quite ruthlessly at that. And, you know, just checking out how you feel when you eat certain foods, how you feel when you do certain things. And I think at the moment, the only challenge that I've got now is to take my behind to the gym and actually get better at doing that and being more consistent with that. But those two things for me, absolute game changers. Let me see what else is going on in the chat. Thank you. Are there any lupus groups outside of London that you could possibly network with? That I will definitely be investigating, As I've said before, what I tend to find is that the lupus groups that have been formed, they're very much about fundraising to find a cure. And as I said, nothing wrong with that. You know, at the end of the day, there is a cure and it's one that works. I'm all for it. But I'm always going to be about the practical matters in life. And at the end of the day, there's people living with lupus. I mean, I believe in England, I don't want to quote me just in case I'm wrong, but I think there's about 1.5 million people living in London or England with lupus, you know, and I know there's very few people that had the support I had, you know, and I do know that as a very isolating illness, a very misunderstood illness, there could be people out there living a very solitary life, you know, and not knowing where to turn to. So that for me is my focus when it came to the Lupus Hub. It's, as I said, it's more about the collaborating with different organizations. I mean, lupus is only one chronic illness. There's a myriad of them, you know. I'm concentrating on that because at the end of the day, that's kind of where my heart lies for me and for my sister. But I mean, as Dr. Sinclair would say and does know, you very rarely get lupus in isolation. You know, for me, I've got rheumatoid arthritis, I've got lupus, I've got myositis, you know, and I know there's other people who have got lupus, fibromyalgia, they've got lupus, fibromyalgia, nephritis, you know. So within that group, there is a lot of scope to widen the bracket of lupus, for instance, you know, because as I said, it doesn't generally end up where you only have one illness when it comes to it. Lupus itself is an umbrella term, you know, for a group of autoimmune illnesses. Sorry, I wake up. So, you know, under that umbrella, if it decides it doesn't like your eyes, you can end up with uveitis, you know, conjunctivitis. If it decides it doesn't like your kidneys, you end up with nephritis. If it doesn't like your joints, you can end up with rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis. You know, it's a very wide-ranging illness. So I think focusing on that, for me and for the rest of us within the Lupus Hub, I think is more than enough to deal with. Once I've reached out and contacted those 1.5 million people and I can manage it, or we can manage it, then maybe I kind of spread our wings a little bit, but somehow I doubt very much it's going to be needed, you know. But at the end of the day, collaborating with other organizations is a great way of reaching other organizations as well. You know, it's been weird because, especially in the last couple of months, we started the Lupus Hub in December. We did the launch event in December. And it's been absolutely amazing. Every person that I've met that I've never known from before has got a link to lupus. Either they had a sister with lupus or they've got a niece with lupus. I was at an event on Saturday, and it's so funny, the actual lady that created the event hadn't told me, but I spoke to her mum and she goes, oh yes, my niece has lupus. I'm like, oh, okay, you know? So there's a lot of undiscovered people out there, and I think what I would like to do is reach them. So going back to what I said earlier, you know, we are going to need volunteers to help reach those people and, you know, reach out to those people. And if we can provide some kind of help, service, and assistance, and most importantly, education, you know. So that's where I am at the moment. Now, has anybody else got any more questions for me? Because I feel like I'm speaking by myself. Yeah. Yeah, the sun triggering lupus, I tell you, that one for me is a right killer because I'm solar powered. But yeah, again, I don't know, I think Dr. Sinclair may agree with this. It depends on where you get the sun. If you go to Jamaica in the country, that sunshine is very different to the sunshine we get here in England. For instance, I went to Cyprus about 3 weeks ago, and I was out there for 2 weeks, and I baked. I'm going to tell you straight, I baked. And I'm very sorry to say, I didn't touch the sunscreen. I don't do it because I got issues with that whole nanoparticle thing going through your skin. I didn't. I'm not saying for anybody else not to use it, but for me, I didn't want to use it. And I literally baked my behind off while I was out there. And I tell you what, I came back to England and I felt the best I felt. I landed on the Wednesday, and thanks to beautiful England and beautiful UK, by the Saturday, I ended up with the worst cold flu, whatever you want to call it, that I've had for about 30 years. And it just made me understand that, you know, as much as for some people, don't get me wrong, for some people, because the sun can be really dangerous. It does actually set the illness off. But for me, I think the changes that I've made to my lifestyle makes a very great difference in how I handle the sun. And literally my body craves it. I've come back, this weather, this dull, cold, dark weather at the moment, it sent me to my bed. It's just, you don't feel that drive to go where you need to go, you know. But yes, a lot of people with lupus do have a sun sensitivity, and it can also cause their illness to flare up. So yeah, as you were saying, it is a surprise, but yeah, strange. Any other questions for me? No? Okay, right. So a couple of announcements to make. Yeah, so basically, the same beautiful lady that actually donated the hall to us for the International Women's Day, bless her heart, decided to trust me again. So we are actually going to be hosting a Windrush celebration, and that's going to be at the Marcus Garvey Library on the 25th of June. So that's a Sunday, and that will be between 12 and 3:30. It's just going to be a nice little event, something just to kind of shake off those winter blues. Hopefully they've gone by then, you know, and just to celebrate, as I said, the Windrush. So what I'll be doing is posting up that flyer in this group, but I'll also be sending the flyer to you all individually. It was just confirmed today, so I'll be doing that. And also, we want you to like, share, subscribe, and follow our website and our social media handles, which I will put in the Lupus group, but I would also send via message to those that are not in the Lupus group. You know, I've realized that the social media palaver actually does work. And I've now got to kind of get used to utilizing it. So that I will be doing. Also, we definitely, God spare life, will be having our main event, which will be in October, which is the UK Lupus Month, and also the UK Black History Month. So it kind of coincides. What it is at the moment, I've got an idea, but I won't say. So yeah, just keep in touch with us, and we'll be posting regularly, and hopefully getting more people on board to help take some of the stress off of me. So if there's any more questions, let's have them. If not, I'm going to play us out because we're going to have some more music. And God bless and thank you all again from us all here at the Lupus Hub. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I would like to introduce you to my Uncle Steve, who has now joined the Lupus Hub as a director. Are you there, Unc? No. To be fair, he's packing to go away tonight, so I can understand. But yeah, you'll see more of him in the future. So have a lovely evening. Thank you all for listening to me. I do appreciate you being here, and good night.